Today, I want to talk about something that I feel has been popping up quite a lot on my Instagram, and I feel that there's a reason for that. And it's this idea that there's this health stigma starting to be created among spiritual circles, amongst sort of wellness groups, people that have taken the decision to begin a spiritual path, to really focus on their inner work and their inner growth, and to reach those higher states of vibration. Those kinds of groups and movements, which are amazing. I myself am massively focused on my own inner growth and my own inner work. However, there is this stigma that I think is starting to be created amongst these groups, which is surrounding health and the idea that we can't use, that certain modalities of healing are better than others. Now, I completely agree with the idea that you are able to heal your body through thought alone. I completely sign up for that. And there are lots of examples of people doing this, who have had very severe injuries or illnesses and have managed to heal their bodies through visualization, through changing their thought patterns and their beliefs and focusing on health and wellness. And they have completely healed their bodies. But not everybody is at that state of consciousness and able to do that from the place they're in right now. So of course, everybody has the ability to do this. Those people that have done that are not more special than people that can't. But the difference is that those people have probably done a lot of inner work already. They have changed a lot of belief systems. They have become very practiced at how to really focus their attention on certain things. They have maybe a vaster understanding of things like the law of attraction, how this reality actually works. And so, of course, anybody that has been practicing those kinds of methods and that mentality for a while is going to find that easier than somebody who's just starting on their inner growth journey. So I think that it can become quite dangerous and unhelpful for people to have this idea pushed on them that especially things like Western medicine, like medication and treatments along those sorts of lines, pharmaceutical like industry products, are damaging, are unhelpful, because I think what those people are actually missing, funnily enough, in those groups, and we're all on our own path, we're all at a different stage, and we're all at a different level of consciousness at various times of the day. So this isn't to pinpoint or blame anybody, but this is just to create a bit of a realization that your beliefs create your reality. So if you believe that Western medicine is damaging, it's harmful, it's poisonous, whatever it is that you believe, then that is going to be created in your reality. So you're going to find examples of people that have had experiences with Western medicine and it has made things worse. You are going to probably have your own personal experiences of using Western medicine and them failing or it making things worse. Because if you have a belief system that believes that, then law of attraction is going to just keep bringing those things to you. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But what people forget when they have a belief system, and I think people hold very strong belief systems around health. There's a lot of fear involved around health, because if we don't get it right, if we aren't able to heal from something that's quite drastic, then of course, the idea of death starts to spring to mind. And for that, and a lot of people are fearful of that. So people have very strong belief systems around health. And I myself, I can completely empathize with that. For a long time, I was really, really stuck, like in my belief systems that Nothing else worked. So for me, I, had the same views, that I thought Western medicine was really damaging, that it was really unhelpful. I far more preferred more natural modalities of healing, more Eastern style medicine, and anything else was just poison, in my opinion. But it wasn't until my husband actually got diagnosed with his own autoimmune disease that I started to see things very differently. So when he got diagnosed with this, I instantly started researching all these different, methods of healing, how we could, help him to get rid of this from his body, how we could make him healthy. And because I was very much into more natural methods of healing, that was what I researched. And what was really interesting, and I didn't really go out trying to find this, but it kind of came to me along this journey, and I think was part of my inner work, was that every single person who I researched into, different doctors, different people that were, selling courses, that were had gone through these autoimmune diseases themselves, and they had healed themselves through different diets. Every single one had something in common, which was that they all had success stories, mainly themselves being the main success story, and that was why they were selling it, because it had worked for them. And of course, they wanted to put that out there into the world to help other people, which is, it's great. But the thing was, so I was finding completely, with an autoimmune disease, diet is quite a big thing that tends to be considered. So I was looking at different forms of diet, and some of the diets I were looking at were so completely in contrast to each other that I started to sort of think, it was driving me crazy, because I was like, well, what is the right one? Which is the right diet? What should he be following so that he can be healthy? But these people were convincing. Like, every single one of them was like, well, I did this diet, I followed this, and it worked, and it healed me. So that was when I started to realize that the commonality between all of them was that each one of those people had a very strong belief system in the method that they were using. So they believed that following this diet, following these practices was going to heal them. And it did. Because you can't say that somebody who was following a plant-based diet and then somebody who was following like a heavy protein carb diet, they are so extreme, but both worked. Both people were healed. Both people even had evidence to support this. So why I'm telling you this story and what I'm trying to convey here is that when your spiritual journey starts to grow and you start to realize these things, this is where the empowerment comes, because you realize through things like this that you really are the creator of your own reality, and that whatever belief system you have is your belief system. It doesn't mean you can't change that, but this is why it can be really damaging, I think, to try and persuade people otherwise, especially around health, that what you believe is better than what they believe, because it might be for you, and it probably is for you, and that's the reason why you're promoting it, but it's not going to be to somebody else necessarily. And if you really have a belief that your healing modality or an experience that you've gone through is something that you really want to share in the world, then of course share it, but do it in a way where you're role modeling that. And people who are curious come to you because they're feeling called to do that, because chances are that that is probably the right thing for them. But if we're trying to persuade people otherwise, if we're trying to change people's minds, then this is when they can get into the person that's trying to just look for a way to heal themselves becomes incredibly confused, because they've got their kind of own gut instinct telling them one thing, they've got their own belief system telling them one thing, and they've got other people saying, but no, this isn't right, this is really dangerous, don't go down that route. and then they're completely conflicted. So I really just want to raise this topic, because I think that, like I say, there's this misconception that the only way you can heal yourself is through, Eastern medicine or through consciousness practices. Yes, of course, they do work. But if your belief system does not support that, then it's not going to work for you. So what I wanted to share with you is what I would actually recommend. So if you're somebody yourself who is, if you've been diagnosed with something, if your health isn't where you want it to be, then I encourage you to follow what your gut is telling you. Follow what that inner voice is telling you. If it is telling you to get down to the doctors and it is telling you to take prescription medication, then that is probably going to be the best thing for you to do, okay? If it's telling you to go and seek more natural healing methods, then again, that is probably going to be the best thing for you, because you are the person who knows you best, okay? Your inner being, your higher self, your spirit, your soul, whatever it is that you want to call this non-physical part of you, that part of you knows what you desire. It knows your path of least resistance to get to that desire. So if you feel called to take on Western medicine or take on Eastern medicine, or just to try and heal yourself through thought, and that is what is really calling to you, then that is what you should follow, okay? Because you know you best, no one else knows you better than you do, okay? And at the end of the day, if you are healed and if you feel wellness and if you feel vitality from whatever modality you have used, surely that is the end result that you're trying to get to. The path doesn't matter. It's it's how you feel along that path as well. If you're feeling enthusiastic when you're taking medication, then that's a good sign. Anything that puts you into a higher vibration is a really positive sign that it's working for you, that it's helping. So if you are in this position, then yes, use mindset, use consciousness practices to support whatever form of healing modality you choose, because if you couple the two together, then you have got a powerhouse there, okay? So some of the things that you can do from a mentality perspective to help support that health journey is look at where your focus is, okay? So if you continue to focus on what the health issue is, on the problem, on the thing that's causing pain, that's causing discomfort, then you're going to keep attracting it. So you need to focus on wellness and health and vitality and energy and all that great stuff, which I know can be very difficult when you're feeling unwell, when you're not feeling great, when you're not feeling at your best. So one of the little practices that I like to do whenever I feel unwell is I like to visualize myself doing something that would require me to be at the peak of health in order to achieve it. So one of the things I like to visualize doing is going on an extreme hike, up, Mount Kilimanjaro, something really extreme where my body has to be physically fit, my nutrition has to be great, my mindset has to be there, I've got to be full of energy and enthusiasm and positivity in order to achieve this thing. And also what happens is when you kind of visualize something that's a little bit more fantasy-like, is it stops you from contrasting, it stops you from kind of comparing your current reality to this fantasy sort of, visualize reality. Because if you just try and visualize yourself doing your day-to-day activities but feeling really well and healthy, I mean, it could work for you, don't get me wrong. But what tends to happen is we start to then compare and go, but I don't feel like that. But I can't do that day-to-day activity like that. And then we start to sit in that place of lack, that what it is that we desire and what we're trying to focus on is not currently present. So by visualizing something that's, not something you just get up and do tomorrow, it would take a lot of planning to achieve something like this, is a really good way to start getting yourself mentally in the state of what health and wellness and vitality and energy feels like. What would you be thinking as you had to go up that mountain? How would you be feeling in your body? Like, how would you prepare? And you can really get into it in this way. And it's quite a fun little exercise as well. And another thing that I would recommend is so if you want to then focus on your day-to-day activities, find practices in your day-to-day activities that help you embody the feelings of health and wellness. So, for example, sorry, I've got an eyelash in my eye that has been here this whole video. Sorry. So find practices in your day-to-day that help you embody health and wellness. So, are there certain foods that when you eat them, they just make you feel so nourished and so energized? If there's stuff like that you really enjoy that make you just feel like wellness, then eat more of those things. If there's things like, do you enjoy dancing or going for a run or a walk or yoga or, any sort of form of exercise that makes you feel, don't do it because you feel you should do it. Don't go for a run because it's supposed to be healthy. Find something that actually makes you embody that feeling of health and wellness and do more of that, because the more you can get into this feeling, into the emotion of what it feels like to be healthy, to be well, to have vitality and energy, the more you're going to bring it in. And the last tip is find something that makes you laugh, because there's a reason why there's a saying that laughter is one of the best forms of medicine, is because it is. Stick on some funny cat videos on YouTube or whatever it is that you find funny and just have a laugh, because when we laugh, we are in a higher vibration. And when we're in a high vibration, we are allowing health and wellness, which is always flowing to us constantly. The only reason we don't feel it in our bodies is because we're in a place of resistance and we're not allowing it in. So laugh more, find things that are fun, find things that make you have a giggle, because that is going to raise your vibration. It's going to allow in that wellness that is flooding to you constantly anyway, and it's going to allow that into your body. And the last thing I kind of want to leave you with is just trust in your inner voice. So if you start to think about how you want to go on your healing journey, and you start to get thoughts coming up in your head that are potentially not your own thoughts, they're thoughts of others, they're opinions of others, they're opinions of society, of culture, just question whether those beliefs are actually yours or whether they are beliefs that you've kind of temporarily borrowed. Because that's the thing, it is temporary. You can decide at any point, you can choose at any point to not believe in those things. So find the things that you want to believe in, and then trust that your body is an amazing vessel. And if you follow what is coming up for you, if you follow that inner voice, you follow the positivity, you follow the enthusiasm, you follow what makes you feel health and wellness, then I really don't believe that you can go too far wrong. So that is all I wanted to say for today. let me know in the comments. Let me, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think about this idea? Do you think that there is a message kind of being spread that we should only be looking to heal ourselves through our thoughts? Have you had experiences yourself of healing yourself that way? Or have you found that actually using Western or Eastern medicine or whatever health modality you have, chosen has actually been really beneficial to you? Because I think we need to try and drop this stigma, because there's people who are resisting getting the help that they need because they are so contradicted in their own mind over what is the right thing for them to do. And I think we need to voice to those people that the right thing for you to do is what your gut is telling you to do, not what everybody in your family, at work, in your society believes is the right thing for you. It's what your inner voice is telling you to do. So I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you in the next video. Have a beautiful day, whatever you are doing. Catch you later. Bye.